Last week we brought in the Torah's Mavur Midairaisa. One is Mechuyev to hear on Rosh Hashanah 9 koilas. Midairaisa is supposed to hear 9 koilas. We know we do 30. And in the 30 koilas we saw either we do 30 because we're unsure the 30 koilas, the 9 koilas of the Deiraisa, what they are, so we have to do 30. That's the Shitas Rambam, so we blow 30 Misafik. And then we saw of Haigoyin that we blow 30 to do all the different manhagim, but technically with 9, you're already Yoitz the Deiraisa. In today's shir, we're going to speak about, Be'ez Hashem, the length of a Teruah, and from there to see what the other kailas also, a Tekias and a Shofar, how long they have to be as well. The Mishnah that we learned, Daf Lamed Gimel Amud Beis, the Mishnah says, how long should a Tekias be? What's the length of a Tekias? Which means if you blow it any shorter, you're not Yoitza. Says the Mishnah, Shir Tekias, how long should a Tekias be? Keshalosh Teruahs. The length of a Tekias has to be the length of 3 Teruahs. The Gemara actually explains that it's really the length of 1 Teruah. The Gemara says that the Mishnah is talking about the whole set, and the Beis is talking about 1 for 1. But the Tekias, and everybody, that's a Gemara. The Tekias, how long does a Tekias have to be? The length of a Teruah. That's how long. And we're going to discuss now and see how long does a Teruah have to be. Says the Mishnah, and how long, what is a Teruah? Shir Teruah, a Teruah is made out of Keshalosh Yevavos. Rashi teaches what Shalosh Yevavos? Shalosh Koilos Ba'alma. Just not to get confusing, we'll call it 3 koiches. Each short sound, a peep, a Teruah, each small, the shortest koil that you can imagine, we'll call that a koyach. That's all, just through the shir we'll discuss a Teruah. So Rashi understands, the Mishnah Kepshutai, that a Teruah is made out of 3 koiches. 3 sounds. Teruah is 2, that's a Teruah. Not like we're used to and what we do, but Shitas Rashi is that a Teruah is 3 koiches. That's a Teruah. So again, the length of a Tekias is like a Teruah, which is made out of 3 koiches we just saw. And that is a Teruah. Teruah is 3 koiches. So what comes out from Shitas Rashi is, first of all, how long does a Tekias have to be? Extremely short. Just the length of 3 koiches, 3 peeps. 2, that's how long the Tekias has to be. Doesn't have to be a long Tekias, what we do a couple of seconds. Literally the length of 3 koiches, that's how long the Tekias has to be. And another thing comes out from Shitas Rashi is that the Teruah is 3 koiches ba'alma, 2. That's what comes out clearly from Shitas Rashi. What also comes out, let's not forget about the Shvarim. How long is a shever? Not how many sounds is it made out of, but how long. A Teruah, which we saw now is 3 koiches, is koiches ba'alma is 3. And a shever we know is also 3. But how long does the sound of a shever have to be? If you're going to blow the length of a shever as long as 3 koiches, which means each piece of the shever is going to be long 3 koiches, let's say you blow the shever, the 3 pieces, but each piece you're going to blow 2, as long as 3 koiches, it's going to be already a Tekias. And if you're going to blow it only 1 koyach, it's going to be a Teruah. Yeah, the was with me? A Teruah is 1 koyach. A Tekias is made out of the length of 3 koyches. So how long, Yitzi, how long does a shever have to be? It's sandwiched in the middle. A shever's got to be the length of 2 koyches. Because if it's going to be any shorter, it's a Teruah. And if it's any longer, it's a Tekias. So we have over here clearly Shitas Rashi. A Teruah is made out of 2. A Tekias has to be as long as a 2, that length. And a shever, the length of each shever, each piece of a shever, has to be as long as 2-2. That's Shitas Rashi.
Don't all stands have to be the same size.
All sounds, Yitzi, or each Tekiah should be the length of a Teruah. So if, let's say, a Teruah is 3 sounds, a Teruah, let's leave on the side what we actually do, because we do not do this Shitas Rashi, which is brought in Shulchan Aruch, but we're going to go Shitas Rashi, a Teruah is 2-2-2. So you're saying that all sounds have to be the same, so how long does a Tekiah have to be? The same length of a Teruah, and if a Teruah is 2-2-2, then a Tekiah only has to be as long as 2-2-2, which means 2, that's it. So a shever has to be somewhere in between a Tekiah and a Teruah, because if you're going to do it the length of 3 koiches, 2 as long as 3 koiches, it's already a Tekiah. And if you're going to do the shever a 1 koyach, it's a Teruah. So the shever has to be somewhere in the middle. But that's somewhere in the middle, there's not a lot of space, maneuvering space. It has to be exactly 2 koiches. What did you say? When you say time frame, what do you refer?
It would come out that a shvar is 6 kaiches. The length of 6 kaiches, and the true is only 3 kaiches.
That is correct. That's right. We're going to get. You're right. We'll speak about it afterwards if that makes that your tekiyas has to be longer also. That's a separate discussion. I don't think we're going to cover it now in the shir, but that's a very good point. Thank you for explaining that you're saying that the equal of all the shvarim together ends up being longer. Let's discuss it afterwards. It's a very good point. So Shitas Rashi, yeah.
If you have shvarim that is longer than 2 koiches, but you have to have 3 shvarim in a row, it will end up being like 3 tekiyas in a row?
That is correct, Moshe. Yeah, you end up doing 3 tekiyas. And the problem is if you're holding in the middle by the shever, you never accomplish the shever, yeah. Shitas Tosafos, and that's what we do. Shitas Tosafos, when the Mishnah says the length of a Tekiah is a Teruah, that's Rashi, that's Tosafos, that's everybody. But how long is a Teruah? The Mishnah says, Shir Teruah k'shalosh yevavos, which we saw Rashi teaches. Rashi explains shalosh yevavos 3 sounds. Tosafos says k'shalosh yevavos, and each yevava is made out of 3 koiches ba'alma, which means if a Teruah is 3 yevavos and each yevava is 3 koiches, 3 peeps, 3 small sounds, how long is a Teruah? 9. It's not mufurish in the Mishnah, but that's how Tosafos explains. Tosafos brings Shitas Rashi, and he asks questions, and therefore, V'rivav, Ari ben Rabbi Meir, they explain the Mishnah, that when the Mishnah says a Teruah is 3 yevavos, each yevava is 3 koiches, so 3 times 3 is 9. So a Teruah is made out of 9 koiches ba'alma. So right away we have, what changes is obviously the Teruah, like we do it. We do a Teruah is made out of 9 koiches. Like the Mishnah says, how Tosafos understands, k'shalosh yevavos, which each one is 3, so that's 9. And what else changes, obviously? The length of the Tekiah. The Mishnah says, how long is a Tekiah? As long as a Teruah. So if a Teruah is made out of 9 koiches, 2, so then your Tekiah also has to be longer. Your Tekiah has to be as long as 9 koiches. What happens now to the shvarim? So the shvarim became a whole lot easier now, because you almost have from 2 to 9, the whole in-between can be the size of a shever. We're going to speak soon a little bit more that it's not exactly the whole 2 to 9, 2 to 8, but again, Lefi Shitas HaTosafos, a Teruah is made out of 9 koiches. 9 koiches means shortest koil as possible, 9 of them. And a Tekiah has to be as long as 9 koiches. So a shever, which is longer than a Teruah, but shorter than a Tekiah, has to be somewhere in between 1 and 9 koiches. So we have a machlokes Rashi and Tosafos, the length of a teruah. Does it have to be 3? I'm sorry, not the length of a teruah, but how is a teruah made out of? 3 koiches ba'alma or 9? We have a machlokes in the length of a tekiah. Does it have to be long 3 koiches or long 9 koiches? And then we see a shvarim. Also, there's a chiluk. What the size of a shever? Each piece of the shever, how long does it have to be? Bedafka 2, or could it be anywhere between 2 and 8? This nafkamina is also when you do a shvarim teruah, which Yitzi brought up before, that aren't all the kailas supposed to be the same length, and it is supposed to be the same. Which obviously, when you do a shvarim teruah is for sure going to be longer than a teruah, because you're doing both. You're doing a shvarim and a teruah. So what comes out from a shvarim teruah? What's going to be longer? The tekiah of a shvarim teruah has to be longer. That has nothing to do with any shitas harishonim. That's when the Mishnah says that tekiah, the length of a tekiah is like a teruah. So it depends what your teruah is. If your teruah is a shvarim teruah, then your tekiah has to be as long as a shvarim teruah. But since we just saw that there's a machlokes Rashi and Tosafos, how long a teruah is, or maybe even how long a shvarim is, so then by the shvarim teruah, that tekiah also, there's going to be a difference how long the tekiah should be. Just on a side note, that it makes a difference for all the koiches across the border. A tekiah, a teruah, a shvarim, and even the set of a shvarim teruah, that tekiah is going to change how long it has to be.
Is that the tekiah before the shvarim teruah or after the shvarim teruah?
Very good question, but it's both. Both. The tekiah, when the Mishnah says the length of the tekiah has to be like the teruah, means the tekiah before and the tekiah afterwards. So now that we have a machlokes Rashi and Tosafos, the length of a tekiah, and also the size, the length of a shvarim, and how many pieces is a teruah made out of. Let's try to go through one by one how much room you have in changing it around. And we'll see maybe if we can even come to common grounds to be yotze both shitas. A tekiah. Again, we said these are machlokes how long a tekiah has to be. So technically, you could be yotze all the shitas by doing a long tekiah. Could one do a long tekiah? Not a tekiah gedola. Rashi says a tekiah is made out of 3 koiches, a very short tekiah, and Tosafos says a tekiah is made out of 9 koiches, a longer. Could you do longer than you need? So the Pasha says you could blow as long as you want. There's a mitzvah of kezayis matzah. You're allowed to eat by the kezayis 8 kezesim. There's no Baal Tosaf. So when the Torah says to blow a tekiah, v'havarta, blow a tekiah, the minimal shear is either like Rashi or Tosafos, how long the tekiah has to be. But the pashtus, and that's the din, you could blow a tekiah 13 seconds also every single tekiah. That's not recommended because it'll knock you out. But you could blow a tekiah even as long as you want. So that's pretty simple. A tekiah, we're not going to blow very long tekiyahs, but we'll blow enough to be yotze even shitas Tosafos. Just on a note that even if you're going to blow a tekiah as long as shitas Tosafos, a longer tekiah, but Rav Shlomo Zalman says don't blow longer than that, which means don't blow a tekiah more than needed. Why? The Gemara says, how do we know v'havarta? How do we know tekiah? The Gemara says v'havarta, like Rashi says v'havarta pshuta mashma, a straight coil. There is the shita of Rabbi Shua Diskin that he was makbid that a tekiah should literally be straight. He had Chodesh Elul, by him the Baal Tekiah practiced that a tekiah should be super straight. No changing of the tone in the middle, the pitch higher, lower. But havarta means a straight coil, literally straight. Now that's a chumrah, even when Rav Shlomo Zalman speaks about it, he says, even l'tchatchilu you don't have to be makbid, and almost nowhere are they makbid, which means if it's a good tekiah, even if it changes a middle, not a crack, but even if the coil goes up, it goes down, there's a change of pitch, it's a good tekiah. But says Rav Shlomo Zalman, that much, I would say, don't blow the tekiah longer than needed, and that's going to cause that the pitch might change. So for that, at least, let's try to accomplish this sheet of the pitch of the tekiah not changing. Now again, if you blow the shear and it changes, it's not a problem. But if you're blowing above the shear, not that it's a problem, but why blow extra long tekiyas and the pitch of the tekiah is going to change, and you're not going to be able to accomplish this hidur of a havarta, of a straight coil. So again, a tekiah could be as long as you want, me'ikar adin, and memela we could do a tekiah to be yotze, all the shitas, that's excellent. A teruah, obviously a teruah you can't make too long. If you're going to do it too long, it's going to turn into a shever. A shever you can't do too long because it's going to turn into a tekiah. Why? Because a shever, lefi Rashi, how long is a shever? 2 koiches. No, but each piece of a shever is made out of the amount of 2 koiches. So if you blow a teruah, one piece of a teruah, a little too long, that is already a shever. So if you're holding by a tarat, a tekiah. Oh, that's exactly. Very good, very good. We'll get to that, Moshe, in a second. First, the length of the teruah, or the length of a shvarim. Each piece, if you're going to blow it a little too long, you're going to run into a problem. It's going to turn into the next coil. A teruah is going to turn into a shever is going to turn into a tekiah. But Moshe brought up very well already that, of course, a teruah, without any question, you can blow as many as you want. We blow 9, so we can be yotze all the shitas. We yotze shitas ataisis, so we blow 9. Lefi Rashi, it's only 3, but Rashi doesn't mind if you blow 9. And even lefi Tosafos that says you need 9 teruahs, you could blow 35 also. So in the amount of koiches, you could do as many as you want. A lot of Baalei Tekiah try to figure out how to get the teruah to about a little over 9, because to do 15 again knocks you out. But you could do as many as you want. A tekiah, you could do as long as you want. We saw Rav Shlomo Zalman, it's better to not go too long. A teruah, you could do as many as you want. A shever, could you do more than 3 shvarims? Could you do more than 3 shvarims? All of our Baalei Tekiah, when it's shvarim, they do 3. Could you do more than 3 shvarims? The Shulchan Aruch says you could. The Shulchan Aruch says it's not a problem. You could do more. You could do more. However, the Mishnah Berurah brings poskim that say v'yeshman poskim shemachmirim. It's better not to do more. The Chazon Ish wasn't makbid, so. No, it's Moshe. You're asking if, let's say, someone did by a shever, he did more than 3. It's not enough of a reason to blow it over, and we're going to get to it shortly. That blowing it over could actually be a problem, because then you have to do over the whole row. So no, you don't have to. Even the Mishnah Berurah brings that toiv lahachver not to do it, but if you do it, to say that you were in yotze, that's a chiddush. Right. You're right. You're saying on a practical level also, the shvarim 3, you can count. 9 is...
Longer called smaller count, but the shever is, the teruah is a shorter code of longer numbers, and it's almost impossible to exactly at 9.
Yeah, agreed. It's easier, you're saying, to get the shvarim 3 than to get the teruah 9. the good Bali Tekiah have a way how with the beats. But you're right, it's definitely much harder to get exactly 9. What happens if you actually blow by a Teruah, you blow instead of 9, you blow 35? You go on. In other words, it takes, instead of 9 koiches, which will be 2 seconds, it'll take you now about 7 seconds. For an example, you go, the Teruahs, a whole bunch of them. Since the Mishnah says that the Tekiah has to be as long as your Teruah, does the Tekiah now have to be longer? Because your Teruah is instead of 9 koiches, it's 35 koiches, so you have a longer Teruah. Does your Tekiah also have to be longer? In other words, sheer Tekiah Ketrua, is it Ketrua delay your personal Teruah, or is it only the sheer that's needed? The Poskim in the Shulchan Aruch, the Mishnah Brura, the Poskim don't speak about it. The Svasemis on the Mishnah says Ketrua delay, which means if you do 35 Truas, you have to blow a longer Tekiah. So to bring it now together, we have a machlokes Rashi and Tosafos, how long the Teruah is, 3 or 9 koiches, and therefore how long the Tekiah should be, and how long the Shever should be, the Shvarim. The Shulchan Aruch brings both shitas. Taf Kuf Tzadik Sif Gimel Yesh Oimrim Shashir Tekiah Ketrua Shitas Rashi and Shitas Tosafos. The Shulchan Aruch brings both shitas. Could we be yoytze both shitas? So we mentioned before, the Tekiah you could do as long as you want. The Teruah you could do as many as you want. So then you could be yoytze Rashi and Tosafos. But we said the Shever, Lefi Rashi, has to be exactly 2 koiches. Lefi Tosafos, a Shever has to be longer. Why? Because, like Yitzi mentioned before, all the koilas have to be the same length. And if a Tekiah, the length of a Tekiah is 9 koiches, so then the length of a Shvarim, all 3 pieces together, also has to be 9 koiches. You with me, Yitzi? A Shvarim also has to be 9 koiches. Which, if a Shvarim has to be made out of 9 koiches, how much is each Shever? 3. And Lefi Rashi, if you're going to blow a Shever made out of 3 koiches, that's a Tekiah already. So b'pashtus, in the Shvarim, you can't be yoytze both shitas. If you do a Shever like Rashi, which is 2 koiches, that's too short, Lefi Tosafos. And if you do Tosafos' Shever, which is 3 koiches, that's too long, Lefi Rashi, and that's already a Tekiah. However, these are eitzah brought in the K'tzei HaMata, a pirush on the Mata Ephraim, that you could make more shvarims. We saw the Mishnah Brura Chatchila not to do it. You could blow more shvarims. So even though the total of all the shvarims together has to equal to be 9, the length of a Tekiah, why is a Tekiah 9? Because a Teruah is 9. So your Shever also, your whole set of 3 shvarims has to equal 9. Do a couple more. Do 5 shvarims. And all 5 shvarims should equal 9. So now each Shever is going to be less than 3. And if each Shever is less than 3, it can be yoytze all the shitas. So we have a way that you could blow all the types of koilas, Tekiah, Shvarim, Teruah, and be yoytze shitas Rashi and Tosafos. Rabbi Chaim Brisker was noy like that as well. But that's not the minig ha'olam. The minig ha'olam is to go like shitas at Tosafos. We blow 9 Teruahs. The Tekiah is as long as 9, and the Shvarim is about 3 koiches, maybe even a little more, but around 3 koiches.
So, I don't know, it can be subjective to that is the piece of not so control. So, how are you going to say that I was in the time, I
So, if you go with a person's length of a Teruah, that wouldn't make a difference in Rashi and Tosafos from 3 Shvar. Why? Because I want to just back up in your question. You want to know when a person blows a Teruah, what's the length of the sound? Some people could blow Shvarim, a Teruah, like a machine, so speeding fast. And some people takes a little longer, which is true, and the poskim speak about it if that makes the Tekiah longer also. Because if your Teruah is 9 koiches, Lefi Tosafos, or Lefi Rashi 3 koiches, but those 9 koiches could be, let's give an example, 1.5 seconds, or it could be 2.5 seconds. So how do you cheshbon to be the length of the Tekiah also? But you're right also on Rashi and Tosafos, and let's speak about it afterwards, how it's going to change. But these are talking the poskim in this general shiloh where you're asking, Moshe, does it change when different people blow Teruahs different sizes? Does it change the Tekiah? And what you're bringing up in Rashi and Tosafos also.
Average, like if the national express is average, you know, the average.
Yeah, you're pointing out could be what the average time, that's how long a Tekiah should be. Does it also kafi how the Baal Tekiah, how fast he does it, or is a general shear?
Plug it to the clock and make him do it for like what you're going to give you on the clock. You see exactly how many seconds he'll do it. You'll tell him to do only 1 second, or if he does longer, then he'll do longer. For what? I mean, it's knowable. It's knowable on what he's done.
You're right, it's normal, and you can look at the clock, and you look at the clock, meaning to say is even if you go with the person's length, you look at the clock. That's always advised, even when a Baal Tekiah, when I blow, I ask the Baal Makri to tell me that when I'm finished the shear of the Tekiah to stop, whatever the shear is. But a Teruah, it's nothing, there's no shear, it's koiches ba'alma. So there could be a Baal Tekiah that blows it so speeding fast that all 9 koiches could take him a second. Then there's a Baal Tekiah that blows all 9 koiches, which are going to be fast, but not as fast, and it'll take 2 seconds. So how long does the Tekiah have to be? If this Baal Tekiah took him a second, the Tekiah also has to be as long as the Teruah. It should be 1 second. And if it takes the Baal Tekiah 2 seconds, so then the Tekiah should be 2 seconds.
Is that possible for the Tekiah to be 1 second? Is it possible for the Tekiah to be just 1 second?
If the Teruah could be, I'm just giving it as an example, if the Teruah 9 koiches could be 1 second, then yes. Lefi Rashi, that how long is a Teruah? 3 koiches? So yes, a Tekiah could be 1 second. Rashi's Tekiyas are very short. I want to just, mamash bekitzer, allow me about 3 minutes just to bring a big nafkamina ladina between Rashi and Tosafos. Bepashtas, Shitas Rashi is a kula, which means it's shorter, and Tosafos is a chumrah, and we do longer like Shitas Tosafos. However, what happens the following? And it could happen, and it actually once happened to me 2 years ago. What happens? The Baal Tekiah said Teruah, and you blew 3 koiches. Usually a Teruah is made out of 9. We do like Tosafos. But you blew 3 koiches. Now, to understand the Shiloh, you have to know 2 dinim. There's one din that if a Baal Tekiah is having a hard time, and he's working to get that koil out, whether if it's a shvarim, a Teruah, shvarim Teruah, it's coming out all types of funny sounds, and he finally gets it, that's fine. It's not called a hefsek. It's not a hefsek, it's niskal. You're trying to do the shvarim and it broke up in the middle and you have to do it over. That's fine, that's niskal, and you just keep on trying till you get it. However, if let's say you blew the Teruah already, after you blew the Teruah, you went ahead and you blew some other sound. You did a Tekiah, the first Tekiah, you did a Teruah. After the Teruah, you did another Teruah, or you did a shvarim. There, the halacha is in Sif Ches, that it's a hefsek, and you have, if you're mafsek in the middle of the row, you have to start over and do the Tekiah Rishon, and not the whole set of all 10, but that row. you did a tekiah, a teruah, and then you blew another teruah, you have to start again from the tekiah. You lost that tekiah, Scheiner, it's a hefsek. So I want to ask the chashav ha'olam, what happens? You blew the tekiah, you blew a teruah, but it was only made out of 3 koiches. What should you do now? If you're going to blow, what should you do now? If you're going to blow another teruah to be yoitza shitas ataisvis, to do 9, so you're running into an issue, because Rashi is going to say, whoa, don't blow another teruah. You already yoitza, and if you're going to blow another teruah, it's a hefsek. To continue on to do to continue on and do again a tekiah, Tosafos is going to say, 1 minute, you didn't do the teruah yet. So what do you do in such a scenario? You blew a teruah of 3 koiches. Were you yoitze the teruah or not? That's a machlokes Rashi and Tosafos. Lefi Tosafos, you are not. Oh, very good, Nachum, but just a second. But again, lefi, we do like Tosafos. But don't tell me, we do like Tosafos, so then just do over the teruah. But then you're being seimach on a kula, because lefi Rashi is going to say if you just do over the teruah, you're doing it a second time, and you weren't yoitze. So what do you do over here? What should you do? So the poskim, a lot of them say that, like Menachem pointed out, you have to do over the whole row. Start over from the tekiah. Even though the Magen Avram says, this is an important lashon, the Magen Avram says, Va'achshav noyegem l'tchatchilo, like Rashi, shaloi lasis tes koiches, kedas Rashi, v'hamachmir tavi olav bracha. V'hamachmir tavi olav bracha. Still, and the Mishnah Berurah says, b'di'evid, you can rely on Rashi, still say to poskim that one should start over the row. There is a shaila, maybe some say you don't have to, because you don't want to be yoitze with that. And if you don't want to be yoitze, you're not mechaven. And some say you even like you're mechaven lehed, you're not to be yoitze. The Mekroi Kodesh says that it's not like you're mechaven not to be yoitze because you want to be yoitze. But the pashtus in the poskim is that if such a case comes out, we have machlokes Rashi and Tosafos, even though we go with Tosafos, but if you're just going to do over the teruah, it's going to end up being a kula. Because Rashi is going to say you can't just do over the teruah, because you already yoitze the teruah and it's a hefsek. So what's going to come out is that if somebody makes a mistake by the teruah and he blows only 3 koiches, what would be is he has to start over the row again and do the tekiah over as well. So we have a machlokes Rashi and Tosafos, the length of the tekiah, how many teruahs, and the length of a shever, and we see a nafkamina ladina, which will come out even if we go like Tosafos, and you should be machmer keshitas Rashi, which is brought in the Shulchan Aruch, to blow over the whole row. Have a good Shabbos.